welcome to Chubby Pug Yarn Podcast. This is a knitting podcast, mostly, or crafty at least. My name is Emma. I am the host, and I have tiny sleeping baby on my back. So we will see if she will let me record or not. She's getting her first 2 teeth, so there's a lot of anxious sleeping, and she's more comfortable on my back than anywhere else. So hopefully she will sleep so I can record. So yeah, it's been like a month since I recorded last. I tried to record sooner, but yeah, life with babies, it happens. So yeah, today I'm going to show you some of the things I'm working on and one thing I finished, and then I'm going to focus on my knitting Make 9 from stash. So I picked up the yarn that I'm planning to use, so perhaps you can get some inspiration. Yeah, I have actually finished 2 things since I spoke to you last. One of the things I don't have here. My brother turned 29, or he's turning 29 this week, and he and my mom and dad came from Sweden to visit this weekend. Today is Monday, I should probably say. So yeah, they came on Friday, and we celebrated my husband's birthday, who it was last week, or 2 weeks ago, and then my brother is having his birthday this week, so we had a combined birthday party. I made cake, and it was really nice to have them here for the weekend. And the single malt sweater that I knitted on last episode, I have finished it and washed it and put it in a package, and then he tried it on and it fit really well, and I forgot to take pictures of it. Pro podcaster here, yeah. So, but the other thing I have knitted, I made for my husband. So, I don't think you have seen the mittens I made. I think I made them last year. He wanted black and red mittens. So these I knitted last year, I think. It's Rauma 3 tråd, so 3 strands. It's a DK yarn. They had like a booklet with patterns, so I made one of those, and he said, oh, but I want like a lightly inspired hat. I don't need the same pattern, but I want it to match. So in secret I made this one for him. So I believe the pattern was called Selbu Rebellion. So it's a skull inside the Selbu pattern. I knitted this in Rauma Vams, so it's a thicker one. It was really quick, and I knitted it on quite tiny needles, so it's color work with like an worsted Aran weight yarn, but I still knitted it on 3.5 or 3.75 millimeter needles, so it's quite dense, but he likes it. So he got it without blocking, and then I blocked it, or I washed it, and he had to wear it on his head while it was damp to shape it perfectly. So he loves it and he uses it. I used it a lot already. So that's the finished object I had here. And for my works in progress, I'm actually making some test knits. Several, let's see. So I can't show you like how it looks, but I can turn it inside out, I guess. So one of the test knits is a pair of socks, and I have knitted the first sock, so this is just to show you that I have one here, and I'm almost at the heel on the second one of this pair. I don't know when it's going to be released. The other one, I can turn them inside out as well. I have one sock for Hugo. This is also inside out, so you can see it's a structure on the front, which I can't show you until the pattern is released. I will tell you when it does. So I have one for Hugo and one for me. So I have quite a lot of knitting that have been just cruising along. I really enjoy test knits, and test knitting socks is really nice, so I don't have to, I don't know, I find it kind of mindless, so it's easier for me when Tova is sleeping on my back. I can just walk around and knit without having the pattern on hand, so socks is my jam in that way. But that's all the things I have been working on. I need to plan some cast-ons quite soon, but I have a couple of, probably a week or two of sock knitting before I have anything else to show. So yeah, perhaps I should just move along to my Make 9. I have seen that it's like a divide in both on Instagram and on YouTube if people want to do a Make 9 or not. I have no like feeling that I must complete it, but I think it's nice to remember like the things I want to make, and especially since I'm making from stash yarns. So I have a lot of yarn in my stash, and I want to remember what things I wanted to make and have it as a reminder. Like last year I made 1 or 2 of my Make 9s, but it doesn't matter. I have a lot of yarn and I want to make nice things with it. So yeah, I have a notebook, so I have just made like very easy. I don't know if it's mirrored or not, but I just make 9 squares and then I note down here when I start and when I finish anything. So yeah. And the first one on my Make 9 was the single malt sweater, which I have already finished, so 1 of 9 is done. Then and all of this is yarn stash from before New Year's. So older, some things are very old and some things are newer. I got a sock kit from through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. This Lyra's Oxford is the colorway, and it's a coordinating mohair. So this is an 85-15 merino nylon, and it's really my colors, blues and purples and grays, and a matching mohair to make the hibernation house socks. So I think it's quite fitting, like pandemic and so. And you knit with the mohair strand in the cuff on the pattern. So I'm really looking forward to cast on these. And after that I'm planning to make one of my favorites. I made a tin bacalao lue, so it's one of those like hats with a neck as well. I made one for Hugo 2 years ago, and I'm planning to make one for Tova, and I need to make one for Hugo in a bigger size. But this is Ministek, So it's a mix of 40% alpaca, 40% wool, and 20 nylon. Sterk and Mini Sterk is the fingering and DK weight of the same base, and I have knitted quite a lot of this before, and I'm planning to knit more. So this is going to be for Tova to have in kindergarten in the autumn, so it's no rush. And then I can keep on with the same base. I have a whole pack of this Mini Stack. So this is going to be an overall for Hugo to have as in-between layer or as an outer layer in the spring when it's dry. And in the winter you can have it underneath like the waterproof overalls when it's really cold. It's still like -10 or -12 outside, so, and the one I made him 1.5 years ago, he's almost grown out of it. So I'm just gonna make a simple one without color work this time. So yeah, a tin Frida dress in this green one. And I'm sorry for crinkling. I just want, if I open it, the skeins will go everywhere. Yeah, and then like the middle square, the thing that is really for me that I want to make this year, I don't have the yarn here, and that's because I have several skeins of undyed yarn in my basement that I'm planning to dye for the witching hour. It's somewhere between a poncho and a sweater. I have admired it for a really long time, and I want to dye one very light, I don't know, warm gray or sand color, and one dark, probably dark plum color. I have not decided yet, but hopefully I will be able to start experimenting with dye colors on mini skeins pretty soon, to make a recipe for what color I want. I have been doing some other coloring or other dye things earlier, which I can show you in a later episode, because I don't think I will have time to do it today. But I made some fun colors to make a sweater for Hugo, but it's not on my Make 9, so I will take it some other time. My plan is to make my videos shorter, but hopefully more often. Yeah, so the witching hour, it's for me. So hopefully I can make it during the spring and summer, so I can have it in the autumn and winter, preferably with the matching mittens. But we will see. Perhaps I won't make it this year either, but hey, we will see. And the next one is Overvinting Mini. It's a sweater, beautiful sweater with a color work. It's like leaves and a bird on the yoke. It's for kids, and they have it for adults as well. So I'm making at least one for Tova, and fingers crossed I can make one for Hugo, not in the same colorways, but so the base color I'm planning to use is a plant dyed. Do you say that? Yeah. It's this gorgeous beigey brown color. It's a Norwegian dyer who makes from different plants. Vide Plantefärgeri. So she had a special edition of yarn to cover veterinarian cost for her pug. And as a pug mom, I helped, and I got a skein of yarn. So it's the pug's colors. So I'm planning to make Overvinting Mini like this with the base, and I have some scraps. I'm not really sure if this will match. It's Regia Merino Yak sock base as the leaves, or perhaps take a darker phenol scrap. I'm not sure yet. And then I'm not sure about the bird colors, but I have a big bag of scraps, big scraps. So yeah, but this will be like the main thing with that sweater. And this is dyed on the same yarn as it's a Hillesvåg Vilje, so the fingering weight lamb's wool that she dyes this on. So, and she has a lot of other beautiful colors and things, so you should check it out. Feels like I'm running through all the things. Then I'm planning to do a remake. I made a Triceratops sweater for Hugo when he was 18 months or almost 2 years, and as you understand, it's too small, so I have several. This is the same yarn, Stark, the alpaca wool nylon blend. It has been my experience with Hugo that he wears it wears very well for him, so it looks fresh for a long time. So I'm hoping that this yellow will be nice and make a Triceratops on the sweater, with browns and greens probably. So not actually the same, but a remake in bigger size. And then the first pattern that hit me in the New Year's was from Wool & Pine. They released the Sea Glass series, and if you had bought from them or did buy from them, you could get the Sea Glass hat as a freebie. So I'm planning to make at least one. And the thing about that pattern is that you have a 1x1 color work, so you can mix light and dark colors. So I have some here that I'm planning to make. So this is our old minis that have been in my basket for my granny square blanket. So I'm probably taking some of these lighter ones and combine with these. This is a mini set from the Wool Barn. So this is a cashmere sock set. It's 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. So it's 520 grams. So I think I will use this if I'm making something for myself, but I have also been toying or playing with the idea of using like only this and perhaps this one to make a tiny one for Tova, because it's not many meters of yarn for a baby sized. Or perhaps I should make one for me and one for her, I'm not sure. But one sea glass hat. And then it's the thing that's probably been on my make 9 and wish list longest. There's the Arctic flower slippers. Tofflan Skogsstjärna by Tornedalsfrun. Sorry, my brain is a little bit foggy. Sleeping with a teething baby ain't easy. So yeah, the slippers from Tornedalsfrun, Tofflan Skogsstjärna. I'm actually having like a tiny knit along, starting with some nice people on Instagram. Here are my colors. The I think you actually only use 2 on the slipper. These are the colors I have, so I'm thinking about either making like this or like this. I'm not sure. But yeah, we're casting on slippers now in the start of February, and we're just sniffing along on Instagram for now. But if anyone else wants to join and knit the slippers, we don't have an end date yet, so it's no rush. It's knitted in a DK weight, so it's quite fast. It would be nice if anyone else wants to join. Just comment in the comment section or write me a message on Instagram or on YouTube. But these are the colors I have. It's a yarn from Moods of Colors. She's a dyer based in Sweden. So this is probably not the smartest idea for me, because this one it's not superwash, so it's a good thing. But it's 100% Corriedale. And I think Corriedale is quite has quite a good strength for using, but everyone in my family is quite hard wearing on socks and slippers probably too. So I'm a little bit afraid that I will wear holes in the slippers. But on the other hand, if I knit them really tightly and perhaps a little bit big and felt them a bit under the sole, they could last longer. Or the other option is to make a leather sole to sew on the bottom. But then, yeah, I haven't decided, but I haven't even won the yarn yet. So I'm going to have a wind on party pretty soon to cast on a pair of slippers. This is the second project from my Make 9 that I will do this now. It has been on my Make 9 for several years, and the yarn has been laying in my stash. So yeah, that's all my Make 9. It was quicker than I thought, which is good, because then I could hopefully do some editing on the video and put in pictures of all the patterns and get it out quite soon. I believe she's still asleep. So yeah, hopefully I can get back and record pretty soon again and show you the hand-dyed yarn that I have. It's actually it's laying here, a lot of colors and yarn. I went bananas and dyed a lot of skeins. So I can show you that the next time I record, and hopefully I can show you some more fun knitting. What are you knitting on? Have you started knitting like in spring colors yet? I'm feeling quite inspired. I actually have a bouquet of tulips on the table where I'm standing, so I'm looking at them in yellow and purple and pink. And even though it's freezing many degrees, I'm still sensing a hope of spring arriving. How do you do? Do you knit more with the happy colors in the spring, or are you perhaps already planning summer projects? I'm nowhere close. But I hope you will have a nice knitting time. If you want to ask me something, you can reach me on Instagram as Distortion. And I'm Chubby Pug Yarn on Ravelry if you use that, or you can just write in the comment section here on YouTube. So, hope you will have a nice day. Take care. Bye.